Hello everyone, welcome to Code and Soul Like a Pro. My name is Susan Fawemi, the CEO and Creative Director of Wow Couture and the head coach at Wow Fashion School. Today we'll be talking about pattern drafting techniques. Now, pattern drafting techniques are methods used to create paper patterns or templates that serve as a blueprint for cutting, fabric, and constructing garments. These techniques translate body measurements and designs into flat, accurate shape. Now, they include flat pattern drafting, draping, slash and spread technique, pivoting method, computer aided design method. We also have drafting from measurement, then pattern grading. So we'll be starting with our pivoting method of pattern drafting technique. And the instrument we'll be using will be our already made pattern, board pin, and paper, then the marker to trace out the lines. So let's get right into it. Okay, now, so this is our already made pattern. So this is like a size 14. So I'll place it on another paper. Then I'll use my board pin to mark, well, to pin down the apex, which is the nipple point. So the next thing I'll do, I'll decide where I want my dart to be. Now the technique is that, when constructing this, the rule is that you don't overlap your startup point. So if I'm doing like a French dart, so this is where I'll start from. So the idea is to move both darts into this point. So what I'll do, I'll start up and draw. You get to the first dart leg and stop. Then close your dart. Continue. Now I'll get to where I want my dart to be. I'll stop. I'll close, start up again, draw my line, then close the dart. Continue. Then I'll stop at my startup point. Then I'll remove this. Then I'll rule my line. My board pin has already given me the point. So I'll just rule with that. So you see that I've successfully transferred both darts into the side seam, which is a French dart. With this pivoting method, you can transfer whatever design of dart you want into another pattern rather than cutting and slashing, which is another method anyway. For this pivoting method, it's faster, it saves time, and I can also do this directly to my fabric. So I can transfer that directly to my fabric, even though I don't want to use paper. So what I just need for that is just my pattern. So to be able to do that effectively, you need a chipboard to have your prototype on it. So, and it makes it easy to roll out. So let me do another design, another transfer, so that you understand it better. So let's say I want to transfer my dart into my neckline. I'll align my pattern with my paper first, apply my board pin. Now this board pin is for you to be able to rotate easily. So I'm going to start. This is where I want my dart to be. So I'll rule here, then I'll come here and start. So rule. This is the first dart leg. Stop. Close your dart. Continue your ruling. Rule. 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 Get to your next dart. Stop. Close the dart. Continue. So I'll stop where I ruled when I started from. So that's it. So the next thing I'll do, I'll draw my dart legs to my nipple point where the board pin was before. So this is center front neck dart. This is French dart. So I can transfer all the dart transfer technique using my pivoting method. I can also do my princess dart with this method also. So that is it is for pivoting method of dart transfer technique. So we'll be going to the next one, slash and spread. Now this is slash and spread technique. Now first let me trace out my pattern. So I'll use my board pin to get my mark. So I'll roll out my Now I want to transfer my dart. Let's say I want to do the neck, the same one I did earlier. So I'll just roll a line here and transfer both that into it. So slash, then transfer. Now this is it. Well, for the pivoting method, you see there was no cut like this. So this is slash and spread method. Then also I can also introduce another form of slash and spread. So let's say I want to add fullness to it. I can come here and draw new lines and cut. So this is another form of slash and spread. So I'll cut but not through. So I'll still have it together. So see. Then I'll place another paper underneath it. So this is added fullness. So you see, the pattern drafting in itself help you achieve design concept without altering the fit of your pattern. So whatever I do here, once it comes back together, I will still have my original fit. So what I need to do now is to add paper. So I'll add paper underneath and gum it to stabilize it. So I need a bigger paper anyway to add it. So this is for slash and spread method. So other technique in pattern drafting is called truing and blending. So for example, if I've done like Princess That, I will need to blend all the edges together so that I won't have sharp edge. Well, I'll show you soon. Now, when drawing your dart leg, you come up 1 inch or 1.5 inch from the original point so that it won't point when you sew. So this is what it looks like. So you have a pleat like this, or you can have it just one-sided, just like this. And you can also use to take gathers if that's the style concept you're trying to achieve. So with this now, I can decide to draw a new neckline. So it's not, so it's still high. So just draw a new neckline and cut. So this is my new neckline. So you have your pleat this way. Now also don't forget to come out like 1.5 inch. Then redraw your point, the dart leg. So this is now your new dart point, so that when you sew, it will not be pointed unnecessarily. This gives it a rounder shape. So, and also we have other types of pattern drafting technique, which we have the draping method. That's you really understand. So you get like a dress form like this, then you use your calico or taro fabric to drape it, understand. Or mostly people use flat patterns because it's easier to comprehend. Then we also have the drafting from measurement. Now that is measuring somebody and using the person's measurement to draft your block. And that is on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out, how to draft with measurement from scratch. And you can also have ready-made pattern that you can grade. So another form is grading method. So I can have an existing pattern like this. This is a size 14. I can decide to grade it into a size 16 or a size 18 by adding allowance in some areas. So you have to now check the shoulder, the bust, add allowance in the necessary areas. So here can be 1.5 half inch. So you add your necessary allowance to grade it to the next size, or I can reduce it to grade it to a lesser size, or I use it exactly the way it is. Once I sew, it's now a lesser size. Now this is how you transfer using pivoting method directly on the fabric. So decide on where you want your dart to be. So I want it here. So I'll start, draw, and stop where I'm at. Then I'll come here and draw. Stop at the first dart leg, close, continue. Stop and that leg also close. Then stop and that leg very careful. Click on the map. So I have my map, the point. The next thing I'll do, my ruler and map. So the next thing I'll do, going to know the point. So I'll come up 1.5 inch. 1 inch or 1.5. This is my 1.5 inch. So I'll mark. I will draw. So the next thing I will do is to add my allowance. So I'll start for the neck. I don't want to add any allowance. So add half inch at the top. In half inch here. The shoulder, I'll add half inch for the neck is high. So I'll add half inch to blend it into the armhole like this. I'll come here, add my half inch. And come out. So here, it doesn't have any additional allowance. This is a full area. So I'll come here and add my 1 inch. Add my half inch to this. Joining it to either the step down or the ground. So the next thing I'll do, I'll leave this label and thread just to get my point. So I'll just pick, then I'll go ahead and notch. So when sewing, I'll just pick my notch. Watch for my notch and this threaded end. So let's go ahead and pick the sewing. So it's either I use it this way, and once I use that, I'll call the excess. Either I'm using it this way, or I use here as a cross. So it just show at the depth, just like this. Show at the depth, just like this. Or I use this part to show just like this. Or I make it show like this. So that's the three methods that you can use for this. So this method is a very easy way to transfer the cat into any design you want. So all these are techniques that you can use to make beautifully fitted garments. So that's it for our pattern drafting technique. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share for others to see and learn. Thanks for watching.